Well, guys, they did it. The spot Bitcoin ETFs have passed Satoshi Nakamoto. We also have some crazy news coming from the Ethereum spot ETFs. And looking at the Bitcoin miners here, you can see that the Bitcoin miners are having a wonderful day. It is long overdue. I do think we're going to see a lot more of this. Wall Street is waking up and realizing that Q4, these Bitcoin miners are looking amazing. Bitcoin recently broke over 100K. It is now fighting to hold 100K. We're going to talk about Bitcoin on the chart, but Bitcoin's recent moves throughout October, November, and December are placing the Bitcoin miners' earnings for Q4 in a great spot. Now, some have posted that they're expecting unprofitability for Q4. I don't think that's going to be the case personally, but we will find out soon when Q4 earnings comes out in the new year. But looking at the Bitcoin miners, they are seeing a wonderful day. Some are up 10%, most are up almost 8 to 9%. BitDeer is going absolutely insane. Now, if you're curious what this is the WGMI Bitcoin mining ETF. It is an ETF containing the Bitcoin miners. It also holds some semiconductor stocks. If you're unsure of what Bitcoin miner to go with, or you want some good diversification into the space in general, I think WGMI is still a good pick. It has definitely run a lot from the sub 20 days. Now let's look at this news, and just the other day I was saying it'll be a matter of weeks till they pass Satoshi. I was wrong. It was literally like a matter of days, or a day. I don't remember if I said that yesterday or the day before. But it happened. The US spot Bitcoin ETFs now hold more Bitcoin than Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. Like I said the other day, when this happens, this will be a positive. This just happened. I think this is a positive. Keep in mind, the spot ETFs are held by its holders. It isn't just BlackRock, for instance. So I do think this means a little more decentralization versus Satoshi being the top holder. We have a fund that contains many individuals and whales and institutionals holding Bitcoin. I think this is a positive, but the likelihood of Satoshi's wallet waking up and suddenly deciding to dump all Bitcoin is extremely unlikely. But if that were to happen, it would be a lot better if Satoshi was in the top 10 rather than number 1. So I think this is overall a good thing, a positive thing, and this is something we're going to keep seeing. We're going to see Satoshi eventually passed by MicroStrategy. That will happen, and I think that could happen at some point in 2025. The spot Bitcoin ETFs have now surpassed 1.1 million Bitcoin held, now holding more Bitcoin than anyone in the world, and they're not even a year old yet. Literally babies still. Mind blowing, Eric Balchunas said. And here are the top holders. Satoshi was in fact passed by the US spot Bitcoin ETFs. Next up we have Binance, MicroStrategy, the US government, the Chinese government, Bitfinex, Kraken, Block One, Robinhood. And here's some recent news that I wanted to mention to you guys. The UK government actually holds a ton of Bitcoin as well. They have billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Arkham intelligence just uncovered. For those of you in Bitcoin last cycle, hasn't Bitcoin come such a long way? It is insane, the theme of this cycle versus the theme of last cycle. Last cycle, we were talking about, is there a possibility things can be regulated to death? Is there a possibility that somehow Bitcoin gets banned? That was a discussion. That was something people were talking about. That isn't even on the table. People don't even think about that anymore. Bitcoin is in. Bitcoin is a part of Wall Street. Bitcoin is not going away. Either you want to buy Bitcoin or get out of the way, because Bitcoin is rolling through. And in childhood stories, Bitcoin would be the little train that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think it can. It did. Bitcoin is in. Now, what's been going on with the spot Ethereum ETFs? Well, they posted a record inflow. The attention is coming. Altseason is upon us. If you need a sign that Altseason is coming, this is literally a fantastic sign. A record net 428 million flowed into the Ether ETFs on Thursday. BlackRock's ETH fund accounted for most of that net inflow, 292 million, which was also a record. And over the last 5 days, Ether ETFs have seen almost 800 million in net inflows. Now the spot Ether ETFs have over 1.3 billion in net inflows since July launch. They have done this despite nearly 3.5 billion of outflows from ETH, which is Grayscale's fund. No staking allowed, no options trading, no in-kind creation or redemption, and very limited access to major wirehouses, plus Vanguard. ETH is Grayscale's Ethereum trust. Things are turning around for the Ethereum spot ETFs. I do think alt season is approaching. You want to get in the alts while they're still low. Many have gone up multiples from the bear market lows, but I think now's still a great time to get them before they go even more crazy. Look at this little snippet here. IBIT has taken in more dollars this year than all but 2 of the 2,800 ETF launches over the past 10 years have taken in during their whole lifetime. That is insane. This year isn't over yet. Maybe IBIT by the end of the year will take in more than all 2,800 ETFs over the past 10 years, but this is still an amazing achievement. This is crazy. The attention is there. The excitement is there. And speaking of excitement, what an exciting Q4. Bitcoin is following its cycle to a T. Just like we've seen in the past, Bitcoin is having an amazing Q4. Bitcoin broke 100K very recently. We had a huge range the other day, all the way down to 92,000, all the way up to 104,000 almost. What a huge range. As for this descending resistance, I do think we're starting a new trend. We broke this descending resistance here. We saw a huge reaction on it, and I think this is a new trend to watch. Zooming into a shorter term time frame makes it a little more clear, but I do think we're going to follow this general pattern until we potentially break this and close out of it. We did wick down, but we didn't close out of this pattern. I think this is going to be the new trend, and we are going to hold over 100K and end the year strong with Bitcoin. I do think this is the final golden cross of this bull run, and we won't see another golden cross this cycle. Last cycle, we saw our golden cross back in May of 2020, and we didn't see a death cross until June of 2021. And then it got a golden cross again back in September of 2021 and finished out the year slightly higher than its prior top. I would like to think things are going to play out differently, and we have a more clear definitive top this time, not like a double top like we saw last time. A lot of sneaky things went on last cycle regarding FTX. Also, Tesla's announcements of buying and selling Bitcoin, that heavily affected this price in my opinion, and I think things are going to play out differently. I do think personally that this is going to be our final golden cross, and if we see these moving averages flip, I do think that'll probably be party over, unless it comes really early in the year somehow and we have an early crash. I don't think that's going to happen. I think personally we're going to ride this golden cross for a good part of 2025 until we start seeing some worrying metrics, such as a heavily overbought RSI on the weekly and monthly. I'm talking about a 90, such as a MVRV score above 6, I believe. I'll try to bring it up on the screen just to show you guys what I'm talking about. So far, the metrics are indicating we haven't topped out. So far, technical wise, we are looking fantastic still. And following the cycle, following M2 global supply, I see no reason we don't continue higher in 2025. But thanks as always for watching, guys. How are you feeling about the Bitcoin miners today? How are you feeling about your favorite Bitcoin plays? What do you think is going to happen to the alts over the next 3 to 6 months? Is it time to load up? Thanks as always for watching, guys, and have a good weekend.